Now, Washington Mornings on the Mall.
105.9 FM.
And AM 630.
WMAL.
637 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, glad to have you along. Joining us on the phone line right now, Montgomery County Councilmember George Leventhal. He is a Democrat at large. And earlier this week in committee, there was a measure that came up, and he basically sort of said that some of his other council members were pandering to unions by passing this measure. Councilman Leventhal, thank you very much for joining us here on Brian and Brian.
Good morning.
Okay, so the quote that I have here is that this is what you said in committee. If we pass this bill, we're doing it for one local. I do not only work for SEIU 32BJ. My colleagues may feel they do, I don't. I work for all the people, all the workers of Montgomery County. This bill was introduced at the behest of one local, and it protects the workers who are respectively represented by one local. I think that's a concern. This is a very interesting position from a guy that I would never expect to hold that position.
Well, look, I'm very sympathetic to the plight of low-wage workers throughout our economy. I think that the power of county government to prevent individuals from losing their jobs in the private sector is limited, and in this case, what this one union has done, SEIU 32BJ, is they've drafted legislation. The legislation was drafted by the union, not by the county council staff, that would create a sheltered market, and that would say that in this particular sector of our economy, that is contract service workers for large buildings, there is not competition, and all workers must be represented by SEIU 32BJ, regardless of what company provides the services.
And if the property owners want to change the people that they're dealing with, that they would have to continue to pay them for some 90 days?
Well, not only continue to pay them, but hire the workers for 90 days. That's right. So if the owner of the building, this is the guts of the bill. If the owner of a building has a company providing services, janitorial or other services, the owner of the building can change the company but can't change the employees for 90 days.
So you would have to hire the employees. So you would have to have a new company. Then the new company would have to hire the old employees.
The bill would mandate that Company B, the new company, the successor contractor, must hire the employees of Company A for 90 days.
Well, would Company B want to do that? Could they even be able to do that, especially if they have people on their payroll right now?
The bill requires that Company B must hire the workers of Company A. The bill is already law in the District of Columbia and in New York City.
Right.
And SEIU 32BJ, the same union, got the D.C. City Council and the New York City Council. Well, in fact, in D.C., that was the hotel and restaurant workers that got the bill a long time ago. So it is the case in other communities that basically a sheltered market exists for the Service Workers Union in this particular sector of the economy.
Now, you were a lone voice in all this. There were 5 members who wanted to see this measure passed. Valerie Irvin was the lead sponsor of the bill, and it got taken off of Tuesday's council agenda. It looks like it won't be taken up again because you're, in recess at the moment, right?
Yeah, the council will meet again in September, and the committee did report the bill favorably on a 2-to-1 vote. I voted no.
Okay, but here's, I guess, what I want to get at, which is sort of the larger question, is that it seems that when I read stories about what's going on with the Montgomery County Council, and I see the comments that you made, which I was, I got to say, a little surprised to see, and heartened by it, but surprised, I'm beginning to sense that there is a change taking place in Montgomery County politics, that politicians who represent the people are starting to hear from people who are sort of not pleased with the way things have always gone. Do I have that right, or am I wrong?
I think that Montgomery County can no longer take our success for granted. I think that we are worried about our economic competitiveness. Our job growth is sluggish. Our tax base has not been growing, and so we're concerned that we may no longer have the tax revenue to provide the services that our constituents expect. We may be reaching a tipping point with tax rates. You know, there's a point beyond which you can keep raising taxes, but you won't get more revenue, because if people leave the county or if new businesses don't start, you're not getting more revenue. So we're concerned. I'm concerned that we may be at a tipping point in terms of our economic competitiveness.
And why this change? Because I've never heard this sort of thing expressed in Montgomery County before now.
As Bill Clinton's people said, it's the economy, stupid. I mean, we've got to do what we can to attract jobs and investment, and I do think that legislation like this is unfortunate and untimely. I don't think it helps us to improve our business climate.
Yet you are a supporter of the Purple Line, which a lot of people say is something we can't afford right now.
Well, the Purple Line will improve our economic competitiveness. The Purple Line will make it easier for people to get from their homes to work and make it more attractive for new residences to be created near transit stations. The Purple Line will be great for the economy.
Did you vote against this because of the impact it would have on businesses specifically? I mean, was that your main concern?
Well, I have a lot of concerns. I mean, I'm a strong supporter of our human rights ordinance. This creates a disparity in our human rights ordinance where for the first time our Office of Human Rights is going to enforce special rights for a few employees, whereas other low-wage employees won't have those rights. I think that opens us up to all kinds of legal problems in the future.
All right. The other question I had on this issue was, where is Montgomery County when it comes to competitiveness versus other jurisdictions? I mean, are you losing business in Montgomery County right now?
Well, no, we're not. We're a great place to do business. We're a wonderful place to live. We have a superb school system. We have beautiful parks. We are a highly desirable place to live. We've set aside a third of our county forever as agricultural space, and about half the county is open space because of the agricultural space and the parks. So we've actually done a much better job of land preservation than Fairfax. It is certainly the case that Fairfax has more jobs than we do. The Pentagon is located in Northern Virginia. The defense industry is very strong there. We're very strong in the life sciences. We have NIH and FDA. So, we're very competitive, but the economy is sluggish. The availability of capital is not what we would like it to be. And so we've got to be more competitive and create a healthy and welcoming climate for jobs and investment.
Would this bill also pertain to Montgomery County, the government, and the school system? If you fired some type of contractor, would it apply to the government as well?
As Ms. Irvin introduced the bill, it would not have applied to county government. The bill was amended in committee so that it does apply to county government. It does not apply to the school system.
Huh.
Why would the school system get a waiver?
I don't believe we have the authority to mandate hiring by the school system or by the state government or by the federal government. The school system has really its own independent authority. We have the county council has very limited ability to legislate for the school system.
Well, your statements were very strong, and I'm sure caught Valerie Irvin and some others a little off guard. What was their response?
Well, Valerie walked out on me during my remarks.
Wow. And have you gotten any backlash from the union? Those people play pretty rough.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've just got to debate public policy on its merits and hope that the right issues prevail and that we're voting out of our conscience. I mean, look, I'm a strong supporter of workers' right to organize and the right to collectively bargain. I think this bill creates a sheltered market just for one local. Right. I think it creates disparities within the workforce. I think it is anti-competitive. I don't think it's good economic policy. That's my view. Right. If people agree with me, they agree with me. If they disagree with me, they disagree with me.
Montgomery County Councilmember George Leventhal, my personal hero at large in this county. Thank you very much for joining us here on Brian and Brian.
Well, my pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
All right, we'll do.